Hello YouTube, it's Gorm70 here. Um, like I said in the Detroit Lions video, the playoff scenarios video, I'm gonna start doing a little bit more sports talks. And my sports talks are mainly gonna revolve around Detroit sports. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about game planning against the Packers, how you can beat the Packers. Because yes, the Packers are beatable. They're not that super juggernaut team that no one can beat. They are beatable. Here's how, in my opinion. Number 1, contain Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, contain Aaron Jones. Number 3, time of possession. And number 4, let 9 do his thing. Now, there's probably another key I'll probably make up throughout this video to make it number 5. I mean, that's what just happens. But anyway, let's go on to number 1. Containing Aaron Rodgers. Containing Aaron Rodgers is a tough thing to do because he has a good offensive line. But if you want to beat him, you gotta get penetration. You gotta hurry up. You gotta hurry Aaron Rodgers. You cannot make him comfortable in the pocket, because if he's comfortable in the pocket, he will kill you. He will kill you, and that is something the Eagles failed to do last week. Was they only got 2 sacks on him. Now, and other than that, like, he had no hurries, I don't think, or little to none. And Aaron Rodgers, all he did was sit in the pocket and, pick apart that defense. And that's what he does. If you give him time, he'll pick apart the defense. So you got to make him rush out of the pocket. You got to make him uncomfortable. You got to make him hurry. And that's one of the ways. I mean, once he does that, then it's like any other quarterback. I mean, he's human, of course, but he's very talented. So once he gets out of the pocket, you got to contain him because he can run. Maybe not as fast as he used to run because he's getting older, but he can still run. So yeah, you got to get pressure on him. You got to make him uncomfortable. You got to hurry him. Because if you don't, it's going to be a long day for that defense. Same thing if you can't contain Aaron Jones, going on number 2. Aaron Jones is a talented running back. He can kill you on the run and the pass. He's very elusive. I mean, if you cannot contain him either, that'll open up the pass game. So that means if you can contain Aaron Jones and focus just on Aaron Rodgers passing, then you can focus on one thing. So if you can neutralize one of them, you will have a good chance. Now, you just saw my facial expression because it is hard. I mean, that's what the Packers have been doing so well this year, is having that 1-2 punch combo. I mean, the running game's working and the passing game's working. So, I don't know. Like I said, this is not going to be an easy game. This is not going to be an easy game whatsoever. I mean, yes, the Lions are going to be at home, but there's no fans. So, I mean, there's really no home field advantage. So, we got to create our own noise. And the only way to do that is, stop the run and get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. So, you got to contain them. You got to contain the Aarons. You got to contain the Aarons as best you can. That means you got to have more sacks, or at least hurries, than the Eagles did last week. Number 3 is time of possession. The reason why I say that is, if our offense is out there, that means number 12 isn't. So, I say whenever we're on offense, run the ball, hopefully successfully. But if you get like a 4 or 5, even 6 yard gain on first down, go up to the line, call your play, take some time, and then decide to read the defense, bring the play clock all the way down to like 3 or 4 before you snap it. Because the longer you do that, 1, you give your defense rest, and 2, the important thing is you keep number 12, Aaron Rodgers, on the sideline and on the field. So, and basically you got to score on that possession. I mean, but yeah, you got to win the time of possession. That is almost more important than containing Aaron Rodgers. I mean, both of them are very important, but if you can keep your offense out in the field, and the less time Aaron Rodgers has to be on the field, that is less time your defense has to contain both Aarons. So it is very important your offense is smart and keeps number 12 on the sidelines as much as possible. And number 4, let 9 do his thing. What I mean by that is, let Matthew Stafford do his thing. I mean, when Matt Patricia was head coach, I feel like all those deep shots they took was like, he didn't want to do that, but he just had to. Like, The first game with Derek Bevel last week, they took a number of shots, and a lot of them were successful. That is where Matthew Stafford has his strengths, is throwing the ball deep. Let him use his arm. Let 9 do his thing. I mean, he is not a Drew Brees, who is a dink and dunk guy. I mean, he will if he... I mean, he did say in his press conference he does if he has to. He comes up with the position. But his strength is the arm. I mean, he just won the NFL longest pass of the week. I mean, I know that's really not really much of a big prize, but I mean, he really should have gotten Offensive Player of the Week because he got over 400 yards. He got the interception, but still. But yeah, that pass, he had the Quintez Cephas. That was 58 yards air time. That wasn't total. That was air time. So, I mean, he still got that cannon, and let him use it. Because not only does he have a cannon, he's usually almost accurate with it. So, let 9 do his thing. I guess number 5 is run the ball well. If I had to make number 5, run the ball well. I mean, hopefully DeAndre Swift is going to come back this week. They're saying that he is likely to. He's been practicing limited this week. Well, I don't know. He practiced yesterday. I don't know about today or tomorrow, but we'll find out. But if he plays, don't just sit him. I mean, I know you don't want to re-aggravate him. He's been out for 3 weeks. I know you don't want to get a small, I understand that. And you got 2 other backs. Adrian Peterson, who seems to be timeless, and he just had a huge game against the Bears, including the game-winning run touchdown. So, I mean, I guess balance it with Carryon and Peterson, but get Swift in there because he can get you on the pass as well. He's again an elusive back. I mean, they're comparing DeAndre Swift to Alvin Kamara, and I agree. I mean, he may not be as good as Alvin Kamara because he's a rookie. I don't know if he's ever going to be as good, but who knows? Maybe he will. But he is so dynamic. I mean, he can get you 5 or 6 yards a run, but then he can get you 15 yards on a pass play. I mean, you set up a screen or a little out route. His little agility, he can get you a good chunk of yardage. And if they do get DeAndre Swift back, I recommend running a lot of little RPOs to Danny Amendola and DeAndre Swift because they're both elusive guys. Little RPO screens, get a few yards. Something that will work. Use DeAndre Swift because I have a lot of faith in him, and I really think he's going to be the future of Detroit with the running back situation if he can stay healthy. So yeah, those are my little tips or little 5 points into beating the Packers. Now, whether they're all going to happen, probably not. I mean, the Detroit Lions. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, we can go out there and have a good game, win, have a good game, lose by a little bit, or we can go out there and get destroyed by the Packers like we did in Week 2. I mean, all those are possible. But, alright, I'm going to move on to talking about mainly just the Detroit Lions in general right now. So, as I said in the playoff scenarios for the Detroit Lions, I said it is possible the Lions can make the playoffs. And it is. And to be honest, to me personally, I think we can. I mean, I wouldn't have made those videos if we lost against the Bears, but since we beat the Bears, and I don't think we beat the Bears, the way I saw our team play was a lot different than I've seen in a while. We played with enthusiasm and energy. Something I have not seen in a while. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but in the broadcast, they showed what our team kind of looked like when we were getting ready to run out of the tunnel pregame. I mean, you saw a lot of different players smiling, including Matthew Stafford. I mean, those were real smiles. I mean, they were happy to be game day. I mean, if you saw some tunnel plays from the Lions of Matt Patricia as head coach up the past 3 years, there was not a lot of smiles. It shows me, number one, they like this coach better than the other one. Here's evidence. Derek Bevel got more praise from a lot of the players in his one game as head coach than Matt Patricia ever got as head coach in the past 3 years. And that just shows the players like Derek Bevel as head coach. And nowadays, I think you need a player's coach. If I said this, 50 years ago, you'd call me crazy. And yeah, rightly so. But times have changed. Now you need a player's coach. Because if players don't want to play for the coach, it's going to be hard to be successful in this league. And that's what I saw this Sunday. Was the players, one, liked Darrell Bevell as head coach, and they rallied behind him, and they never gave up in that game. Now, obviously, they always tried to win the games. I'm not saying they were all purposely trying to lose to get Matt Patricia out. There were rumors out there. They were saying they're purposely trying to lose to get Matt Patricia out of Detroit. I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, they're professionals. They get paid to win a game, and I don't know. I just think their competitive spirit will kick in too much to have them purposely try to lose a game. So I don't know if that was it. I just think it was just terrible coaching. So, but this newfound energy is nice to see. And like I said, we're going to have to see how they do against the Packers. But if they really do want to make a playoff run, now's the time. Beating the Bears was number one. Number two, go out there and play well against the Packers. Because like I said in the playoff scenarios, they can lose one or even two more times and still have a chance at the playoffs. So if their one loss has to come this week, so be it. But I just wanted to play a good game. I wanted to be a close game. I wanted to come down to the wire. If it's a blowout, I'd rather see the Lions on the blowout side, winning versus the Packers. I don't want to see another week 2. Although I do want to see week 2 from the first quarter, because in the first quarter we were pretty good. I want to see that in all 4 quarters this week. Now, obviously, and one of my tips was contain Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. Now, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is going to beat you at some point in the game. You cannot contain him the entire game. That is impossible. Same with Aaron Jones. He will bust one. But the important thing is on the defensive side, you got to learn to limit those. You got to, like I said, you got to get pressure on number 12. You got to get pressure on him. Because if you don't get pressure on him, he'll, like I said, pick apart the defense. No matter what defense it is. He can face against the worst defense of the league, have a good game, and do the same thing against one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, that's how good Aaron Rodgers is. You give him time, he will pick apart the defense and find out who's covered and who's not. And even if they're covered, he'll still sling it into them on an accurate pass. I mean, I hate Aaron Rodgers. I do. Because he is so good. He is just so good. I mean, you would think he's 35, 36 years old? You would think he'd be on the downswing. To be honest, I think it's still on the upswing on his career. I mean, he is just not letting up. Now, do I think he's going to play for much longer? I think he's not going to play for... I don't think he's going to reach 40. I think he's going to retire in the next 3 years. And then they're going to transition to Jordan Love. But for the time being, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is the LeBron James of the league. I mean... Also, Tom Brady, I want to say, though. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I know he's younger than Tom Brady. By 7 years, I want to say. Tom Brady's 43, and he's 36. Yeah, that's 7. But Tom Brady, he said he wants to play till he's 50. I don't see that happening. I mean, he's not playing as well as he used to. And that's just because he's getting older. And the reason I'm comparing Aaron Rodgers to LeBron James of the league is because they're more closer in age than Tom Brady is. And they're both aging like fine wine. If Aaron Rodgers does play till he's 40, I think it'd be better than Tom Brady was when he was 40. Just because of how talented he is. Because Tom Brady, he was never fast. If he ran, he was slow, kind of like Matthew Stafford. But when Aaron Rodgers ran, he had speed when he was younger. So he could kill you on the run and the pass. Tom Brady really didn't have that duo. He just had that, just the arm, I guess. I don't know. But let's not talk about Tom Brady. But yeah, if the Detroit Lions want to make the playoffs, their time starts now. They got to make the push right now. They're one game out of the wild card spot. Now, remember in that video how I said they can reach the 6th seed? Well, actually, I went all the way to the 2nd seed, but that's impossible. But it is entirely possible. If they win out and the Buccaneers lose twice, they'll get that 6th seed. And to be honest, I'd rather have that than being... if they make the playoffs, I'll be happy. But if they make the playoffs, they're most likely going to face against the 2nd seed. And that's either going to be the Packers or the Saints, depending on how the season plays out. And I'd rather face against the 3rd seed, which will probably be an NFC West team, than the Packers or the Saints. Even though the Saints don't have Drew Brees, they are still pretty dominant with Taysom Hill out there because Alvin Kamara is doing what he does best. And the Saints actually have a pretty good defense. So, to be honest, I don't want to go to New Orleans, and I don't want to go to Lambeau Field. I don't want to face against those people. I mean, I guess if it has to be that way, fine, but I feel like we'll have a better chance of winning the wild card game against, like, a Rams team or a Seattle team than a Packers or a Saints team. That's just my opinion. I mean, all of them will be tough games because we're going to be on the road. But just to be honest, I'd rather face against those. I mean, I'd love to somehow manage to get the 5th seed, but that's just way too impossible. I'm just saying the likely scenario, we're probably going to go either 9-7 or 8-8 and get the 7th seed and face against the 2nd seed would probably be the Packers or the Saints. And if that happens, like I said, so be it. But my dream scenario is they win out, the Buccaneers lose twice, once against us and once against some other team, and we get that 5th seed. That's my dream scenario. So, but that's why it's called a dream scenario, because it doesn't work out. Your dream. Now, I was going to open up for some questions, but I didn't have nobody, so I'm going to try to make up my own. Now, I know my friend, I don't even know his name. I just know he's on Instagram. He's Detroit Lions Den, the Detroit Lions Den. He said he would give me some questions, this morning, but I started the video too early, but because I wanted to make the video. But I guess one of the questions was, if anybody asks me a question, it'll probably be, do you think the Lions have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs? Even though I just explained it. And I'll be answering, yes, I do think they have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. Now, I'm going to go into the reason why in more depth. Yeah, there we go. Grammar. Like I said, when they played against the Bears, they had a newfound energy and enthusiasm for the game that I have not seen in a while from this team in years. That's what I mean by a while, in years. So if they can bring that same intensity, that same energy, that same enthusiasm against the Packers, and for the rest of the season, I think they'll play a lot better than they did before. Because, I don't know. I think it's my grandpa Bill who's told me this. I mean, it's a lot of people have said this. If you don't have enthusiasm for anything you do, you're not going to play well. If you have enthusiasm for something you do, you're most likely going to play well or do well in that, whatever it is. And it showed. If you have enthusiasm for football, it's no different. You will pretty much do well almost always. You got to bring that energy. You got to bring that intensity. You got to bring that enthusiasm each week. These last 4 weeks to have a shot. Because if you don't have that, then, like I said, there's no fans. There's no fans. So you got to create your own energy. So you got to bring your own energy. You got to bring your own enthusiasm. So I believe is it possible? Yes. Now, is it all likelihood that we could lose the last 4 games? Yes, it is. Can we go 1-3? Yes. 2-2? Yes. 3-1? Yes. It's all up to this team. How badly do they want it? I mean, I'm a fan. I can't want it. I can't want it more than them. I can try, but I have no impact on the game. I have no impact. I mean, I can want it as much as I want to, but it's the players. How badly do they want it? And with this new head coach, I feel like if Matt Patricia was a head coach, 1, we probably wouldn't have beat the Bears, and 2, we wouldn't probably want as much as they wanted probably with Darrell Bevell. Because like I said, Darrell Bevell got more recognition from the players in 1 game as interim head coach than Matt Patricia had in all the years he was head coach of the Detroit Lions. And that shows they want to play for him. They want it badly for him. So that's why I feel like we have a legitimate shot. Because they want it badly for this. They want it badly for Bevell. So, yes. To answer your question, I think they have a legitimate shot at making the postseason. Still. I guess another question was head coaching. I'm not really going to go into specifics, but if Darrell Bevell wins out with 3-1 or even 2-2 and gives us a shot at the postseason, I would heavily consider him being the head coach of this team going forward. One, because the players love him. The players obviously love him. So why not have a coach as the players like? You know? And if Daredevil isn't the head coach of the Detroit Lions next season, my top two candidates are a lot of other people's candidates, like the Detroit Lions fan page. This isn't all the other people. Is Salea, the defensive coordinator from the 49ers, and Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. Now, the reason why I like both of them is because they've dealt with adversity well and was able to coach around it and still bring out a good product. This is what I mean. Let's go to Salea. He's the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Now, the 49ers have been decimated on defense with injuries all season long. I mean, they've been playing second and third, and sometimes even fourth stringers out there. I mean, I guess Richard Sherman was out there a lot, but even him has been injured lately. So, I mean, but to have those backups in there each week, and I believe the 49ers' overall defense is like 15th, 16th in the league, I want to say, or something there. They're not the worst. And to have that still, that's a credit to the coaching. To adapt to the situation, to coach your guys well, to get them prepared for the game, that's coaching. And that is something Matt Patricia failed to do. Because we also had injuries too, especially on the defensive side, especially this year. And he failed to coach us. He failed to get the backups prepared and ready for the game, I feel like. And they did not play well. And if you don't have a coach that can adjust to adversity, which in this league is hugely important, then you're not a good coach. And Salea was. He was able to adapt to the injuries and be able to put out a good product on defense out there. Now, it wasn't the best defense in the world. There were defenses better than them. But I'm not saying they weren't the worst. And that's a credit to the Salea. And I want that mentality here because as a head coach, that's the same thing as any coordinator. If an offensive or defensive player gets injured, you got to adapt around that and get the next guy up prepared to go in that game. Because even though he's in the NFL, if he's talented and he's a good player, whatever position he's in, if he is not prepared, if he hasn't been used to playing in the NFL games, or he has not, just been sitting on the sidelines the whole season, and all of a sudden he has to go right out there and play, if you don't prepare him, enough or well, he won't play well. Doesn't matter who he is. So, that's coaching. Same thing with Joe Brady on the offensive side. I mean, they have arguably one of the best running backs in football, Christian McCaffrey. He played 6 games this year and he's injured for most of the season. And then Teddy Bridgewater's been dealing with some injuries. Okay, we're going to the game against the Lions. Both Teddy Bridgewater and Christian McCaffrey were out. Going into that game as a Lions fan, you thought they would win easily. We lost 20-0. P.J. Walker, quarterback for the Panthers, was making his first NFL career start. Never played an NFL game, was playing the XFL. And he comes in and plays like he was a 5-year veteran. And that's a credit to Joe Brady. Because he got him prepared. He ran plays that that the quarterback felt comfortable with, and he was prepared, and he was ready for the game. And same thing with the run. Mike Davis. I mean, some of it is strictly Mike Davis, but another of it is getting Mike Davis prepared for the game. I can't stress it enough. If you're not prepared for any game, you're not going to play well. And I want coaches who know how to adapt to situations such as having injuries. Because it's going to happen in the NFL. No matter who your strength and conditioning coach is, no matter how much you condition, you're going to have injuries. And that's just to it. That's just a part to it. And when you get the injuries, as a coach, you got to adapt to it. You got to get your backup players prepared to go into the game. So I would love to have either one of them. Now it looks like Saleh is the number one candidate if it's not Bevel. So to me, I want him more than the offensive side because I don't believe the offense is the problem. So I want kind of more of a defensive-minded coach. Now I know we all said we wanted Patricia, but Saleh is 10 times better than Patricia ever was, even as a defensive coordinator. So I think I would rather have him because he needs to fix our defense. And I don't know if an offensive-minded coach like Joel Brady come from an offensive coordinator spot will have the knowledge to fix our defense than a defensive coordinator would. So I would rather have Saleh. However, like I said, if Bevel gives us a chance at the postseason, or he does have his win out, go 3-1, we do make the postseason, I would strongly recommend the Lions ownership keep Derek Bevel for at least a year or two, just to see what he can do as a full season versus, the last 5 games. So, don't count Derek Bevel out just yet. And don't count the Detroit Lions out just yet. I guess the final question, I would probably just do 3, so this video's kind of getting long. Would GM candidates, I guess. I'll go with that one. Basically, I want someone from a winning team. like someone from the Chiefs side. I don't know. I didn't really look up the GMs. I only looked up the head coach. I know Detroit Lions fan pages did bring out their top 14 candidates, and I can't remember their names right now. I guess one of the names I can remember is Louis Riddick, the ESPN analyst. And the reason why I would give him a shot is because, like I said, he was an analyst, and he's also a player, so he kind of knows what the game is going on. I think he's well liked, so I wouldn't mind giving him a chance. But I believe there's a guy from the Chiefs. I think he's player of football operations. Can't remember his name, but I wouldn't mind him because he's coming from a Chiefs team who won the Super Bowl last year. Only lost 1 time this year so far, and past few years they've been relevant. Same thing with a Bills guy. I should have been more prepared for this video. I've been stressing preparing for games like that. I didn't even prepare myself for this video, so I kind of just contradicted myself. The irony of it all. I guess in my next video, because I'll make another video, I don't know, either before the Lions game, but for sure after the Lions game, because I'll do a little post-game video of how we did against the Packers. I'll probably wait till after Monday Night Football, so probably Tuesday morning sometime. So I can, because I'll probably combine, because after this week, I'm going to do another playoff scenarios, concerning on what happens this week. I'm going to show you, what record will do it. So maybe that 7-9 record will go away after this week, depending on what happens. And, so yeah, I will make another video about the playoff scenarios. I will do that every week up until the postseason starts. So maybe I'll do the post game as well as the playoff scenarios. So, yeah. This is the game planning for the Detroit Lions against the Packers. I'm going in this. I'm gonna go in this game just like I did against the Bears. I'm going in expecting to lose. So then, if they do win, it will be a hell of feel good, like it was against the Bears. But if they lose, it won't feel as bad as it was if I was expecting to win. However, it will still feel terrible because I want them to win. I want them to beat Aaron Rodgers. I want them to beat Aaron Rodgers. I really do. So, we'll see. Those top 3 of the 5 tips I gave was that really needs to happen. Contain 12, contain Aaron Jones, and win the time of possession. I'll see y'all in the next video.